really enjoy your content. Half joking, but have you thought of doing an influencer boxing, watching you punch a far right influencer? Bruv, I have. You know how tall is Sargon of a cat? I used to watch Sargon. Same, man. I can't believe he's so insane, bro. He went from, I think he is still an atheist, but now he's like sort of a Christian nationalist atheist. I don't know. He's so ridiculous. He's like studying philosophy. I listened to this fucking him talking about, I listened to him talking the other day. Like, he's so cringe, bro. But he's doing like a philosophy degree. And he went through it and basically realized like Marx is kind of correct, right? He said something like this. He was like, the thing about Marx is he is correct, but he thinks it all as a negative. But actually, if you look at it like it's a really good thing, these imbalances in power, then, then it's okay.
Different perspectives. Yeah. This is a perspective game.
It's like, wait, what? So you agree with Marx's analysis, but you think it's good that it's like that? That's pretty much. Let me try to find what he said. This bit's so funny, right? He's making a critique of corporatism. Like I think he genuinely is sort of a Marxist, but he has to blame it all on the feminists, the wokes, and blah 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 blah. But he's talking about how shit McDonald's is, and he blames it on because the market is now not catered towards children. And he's like, it was great when we was young because everyone had families, and so McDonald's, the market catered for like families, so it was nice. But now no one's having families, so McDonald's is shit. And that's sort of his kind of thesis.
One of the things that you have to read a lot of when you do philosophy is Marxism. But actually, Marxism is quite an interesting thing, especially their critique of the modern world and the concept of ideology, which is essentially just a Marxist discipline at this point. If you read it with the, yes, but this is a good thing, rather than, yes, but this is a bad thing, there's actually a lot in there that you can take out of it.
But I weren't paraphrasing. He's literally like, I read Marx, because I have to, because I'm doing philosophy. He's doing it because probably he wants to be like an edgy academic. And he's like reading, he's going, well, he isn't wrong. Like, he is right, but because his whole brand is so bought into being anti-Marxist, he has to literally go, but that's good. It's good that it does this. Like, insane capitalism obviously sucks. Like, when all your businesses only care about making money, and especially in a non-growing economy, they're not going to be innovating as much. They're just going to be like, just like cost cutting. Like, think about it like this, right? Okay. McDonald's, they employ 15 people, 20 people. Imagine one McDonald's, 20 people, and it's in like a town that's kind of busy, but not super busy. So it's like they've got a lot of staff, right? When you have 20 people, they've all got to do something. So they're going to go, oh, I'll clean the floor. I'll take the plates. I'll do this. But what McDonald's does instead is it goes, well, we could have 20 people, but we can deliver the burgers. We can get the burgers to the people with 5. We can do that. The tables will be less clean. The toilets will stink of shit. They won't have toilet paper in them. However, if we do it, the customers will come through the door. They will keep coming through the door. Now, McDonald's does that. They take a risk because they're massive. They're not a monopoly, but they're massive. They're so big. They can do it. And then what happens is their profits go up because they've cost cut heavily, and now they're going to be more profitable. And so, what does KFC do? Do KFC look at the market and go, well, look, McDonald's are lowering its service standard, and we could compete with them by becoming higher service. We employ more people. We make it cleaner and state of the art. But then they think about it. They go, well, we're just fast food, so we don't really need to be Michelin star quality. And then they go, well, really, we probably should just do what McDonald's do because they've kind of set the bar down so low. They're getting away with it. We could do the same. And the whole market, like Domino's, will follow suit and just shittificate the service quality because they can. They've just discovered that they can do it, so they will do it. It's just, it's kind of how it works, man.
And it really tells us a lot about the concept of ideology and its effect on the modern world, because when I was young, fast food restaurants were geared towards children. This was something that families.
This
did
is what
at the
he
weekend
thinks
or
it is.
wherever. They take their
He thinks why fast food companies have got shit. They've always been shit, but they've got shitter is because women are having less kids, and so the market isn't making them for families anymore. That's what he thinks. That's what he thinks. There probably is an argument. I wouldn't be surprised that there is an argument that it's less tailored towards kids. I could believe that, because that would possibly make sense if birth rates are declining. I'd have to look into that. It's possibly a theory, but it is by God not the main driving fucking force, is it? Obviously. I find him like funny in an annoying way. It's like, he's so underwhelming as a person. And he always talks like this. The problem is the feminists, right? He's always like condescending. He seems like someone you just couldn't have a conversation with. He's always going to condescend, like every sentence.
The power of ideology, and they seem to have become completely subsumed.
It seems to become completely, like they forgot it. That's it. That's the tone he does. It seems like the left used to, once upon a time, understand this, but they've just become consumed.
Because children spend such a lot of their time there. If there's a pride flag on the school, that is a conscious Marxist attempt to subvert the purpose of this state apparatus into reproducing a different kind of ideology. And of course, we see the effects of this everywhere. It's not a coincidence that I think it's something like 20% of young people now identify as not straight. Right? That's not natural. That's not biological. There's no way evolutionarily this could be selected for.
What I love about that, right, he's presented a fact, right? He's presented a fact there. So 20%, he said, it was 20% of young people identify as not straight. And so when he said that and I was listening to it, I was like, that's kind of interesting. I didn't know that. 20%. That sounds like a lot. That sounds like a big old chunk of people, right? 20%. And so he said, right, he followed that up. He didn't say 20%. Oh, I wonder why that is. Maybe I'll think about it. Maybe I'll look at it. He come up with a conclusion, and he gave you the conclusion, right? He goes like this.
That's not natural. That's not...
He says, that's not natural. So he's basically implying there's an ideology that's pushing it. That's not natural. And I went, he said the phrase, that's not natural. And so I thought to myself, because this is how your brain should work, if you're not absolute nutter, is to go, is that natural? Not that's not natural. Is that natural? Like, and that's an interesting question. Like, what could cause that? Is in the natural world, if that's what we're judging it by, and we're social creatures, we're as humans, we are very different to animals. We have social structures, and they impose standards on us that might deviate from our nature. So this sort of appeal to nature argument, it often doesn't really make sense for humans. But I did just think from a natural level, I was like, well, what is it in like the animal kingdom? Like, how is it natural? So you would think that Sargon, if he thought that, he would ask the question. He'd be like, well, is it natural? And maybe he would Google that, because there's this thing, right? It's literally called Google, and you can like look into stuff, right? You can, if you think something, you can like Google it, and you can discover if what you think is right. And so I was like looking into like homosexuality in different animals, and it seems that rams have a bisexual rate of 18 to 22%. So this is just a random animal, and this isn't to say that rams completely align with how humans are, but there is an example there that an animal has a rate of 20% of what you could call LGBTQ, right? And then it gets more crazy, right? Giraffes. 90% of giraffes. This article, I think it goes into more depth, because someone said that 90% of giraffes are gay, which I don't think. I think it concludes. I haven't read it all. I think it concludes that it's maybe they're not gay, but they do same-sex things. So insisting that instead the same-sex physical contact observed between giraffes, not gay behavior, but is an act of dominance. So 90% of giraffes hump other dudes, but it's like an act of dominance, right? Which also sounds like what some very powerful men do. But that's 90% do that. And then apparently of macaques, it's something like 20, 25%, 20, macaque. That sounds like a Cockney geezer talking about his trousers. I've got my fucking macaques. Got my new caques on, macaques. No, this is it. 60. Yeah, there you In fact, about 60% of sexual activity in bonobos happens between two females, but male-to-male sexual behavior happens as well. 60%. 60% of bonobos, the women, are, you know, they like to get freaky with gal them. So, I don't know, like, he just says something. And if you had, like, an open, honest intrigue into that question, you would just Google it. Like, you could just Google that and find it actually in the animal kingdom. If anything, this was the thing I came to the conclusion, right? When I went through it, I was using ChatGPT, so I was, like, seeing if these things are right. It claimed that, like, humans' homosexuality rate is something like 2%. So, if anything, it's lower in humans than it is in any animal, which would imply that we're the weird ones and not others. It's just like, he doesn't have any actual intrigue in these topics. He's just got, like, you know, his vibes. Okay, this one. This is the video. Right. Look at what's been done to us. This is a video where he goes through and basically demonstrates that austerity has destroyed many towns, and then he concludes it's all the migrants.
It's supposed to be some sort of new bus stop or bus station. It's not exactly the world's greatest building. It's not exactly a massive monument to anything impressive. This has taken about 2 years. This is the product of 2 years worth of labour. And look at it, it's still not goddamn all done, and it's barely above ground level. What is the point of this? This is the entire problem with this entire town, is that everything is done really poorly. Everything's being turned into flats. This is quite a nice old looking building. It's been dilapidated for years.
This is middle manager speak. Yeah, he does seem like he seems like the worst manager you'd ever have. Like, he's that guy who would pretend to be friendly but actually be really, like, snarky. Like, so many passive aggressive comments.
Just as long as I can remember. Apparently turned into flats. Incredible. Of course it's turned into flats, because so many people are crowding to move here. So this is the bottom end of town.
This is called austerity and inequality. This is what you're looking at, my friend. This is what you don't like. It sucks. We don't like it. I would love for this to be a vibrant community that buys local, that shops and supports each other, that we had money to build beautiful architecture, to build beautiful things that bring people together. I would fucking love that. But the reason we don't have that, or we're losing that in certain places, is because we went through 14 years of slashing the state, of cutting £500 billion in planned public spending. We cut many councils' budgets by about 40%. And so then they had to start charging more for parking. They started charging more for business rates. They started charging more parking fines, speed cameras, stuff that basically turns you off of wanting to go into making a business or go into your town centre. They cut the police force by 20%, which makes communities less safe. Those things are what have led these towns to die.
Obviously, there is a barber. That's actually where I get my haircut. They're actually not bad.
They're actually not bad. Like, the ones, so he obviously hates Turkish barbers. That's it. But the one I go to, they're all right. They're the good ones. But it's the ones that I don't know, the ones that are far away from me, the ones that I've read stuff on Twitter about how they're all fucking rapists and blah, blah, blah. They're the bad ones.
Like, how do you attract customers? Oh yeah, look at the state of this as well. So this is the bottom.
If only your council had a bit more money and they could afford to do two things: give the young people something to do, and secondly, clean the graffiti. And I'm sure you'd have less graffiti if they had something to do. But they don't. So they go out and do graffiti.
End of town, right there.
Give them a place to go do the graffiti.
This used to be a bar called the Lava.
Celebrate the graffiti. Let some of these shop fronts that you might not like the look of, let them become art projects for the youngsters to go and make it look nice, like they'll do in Camden or these cool places in London. Celebrate these things.
Yeah, this was a massive nightclub that everyone used to go to.
Well, back when people had spending money. Yeah, that was a good time, wasn't it? Back when people had more money to spend on things, but now they have less spending money, so they don't spend it on stuff and going out.
It's like living in the ruins of a post-apocalyptic city. Like, something fall out.
And what caused
Obviously a Polish shop, but...
Obviously a Polish shop. You don't like the Pole... You don't like the Poles now, do you?
Again.
Such a pretty...
The bars in particular. These were all really nice bars too. You know, they were really, really nice. Like, well-to-do bars.
And what caused...
And they're heaving.
What caused this?
Heaving. And then the crap one at the end there was Remix. That building was up for sale recently for 300k.
And what happened to your town? What was it that happened in 2010? What happened? Why did everything go to shit? Are you going to mention it? Will he mention the word austerity once in this 40-minute video of declining towns? Will he mention it once?
And now, this town is falling apart. So you can see here, like, gambling. Huge amounts of gambling. Not so...
It's moral failing, isn't it? It's just people became really awful. I think it's probably that.
Pawnbrokers, bingo slots. Like, what a shithole.
Yeah, why? Oh, it's so annoying. I hate this shit. There's a very interesting story as to why this happened. It'd be great if a British YouTuber made a whole video on that. There's a big story. You know this. Maybe you don't. Maybe he actually doesn't know why this happened. But, like, it's austerity, man. That's what happened, wasn't it? Financial crash. It destroyed our country.
6 slots on this one street. Who the hell used them? Benefit scroungers, that's who used them.
Benefit scroungers. There we go. You fucking mug. Benefit scroungers. That's who used it. What vile person. That's what he thinks it is. Oh, fuck me.
Want a Damascus falafel?
Why are you mad at that, man? Look at him. He's angry that there's Damascus falafel. This is the one nice thing in your town. Look, people are there. They're enjoying themselves. They're having a day out. They're spending money from their hard-earned jobs at the local people's markets. That is good for your economy. But the one thing you had to say about this was that it's from Damascus. Not even the most far-right person should be able to argue against local markets. They literally pump money around your economy. And he is mad at that because it is falafel, which is delicious, from Damascus. This looks nice.
As you can see, Swindon's quite a diverse place these days.
Oh, fucking... He's so cringe, man. He's so... Actually, I didn't even see... I saw mainly white people. White. There's like one black person there. White. Imagine walking through the world thinking like this. Like, I don't even see many white people. He spotted one black person and went, look, diverse. Look how diverse it is. That's his brain. He's gone from a nice market where people are chatting. You can hear the fucking 1 pound of bananas. You can hear all that. It's nice. It's sunny. And he's complaining about diversity. This is his brain, man. What a fucking sad prick.
As you can see, Swindon's quite a diverse...
Where? They're white.
As you can see, Swindon's quite a diverse place these days.
Oh, because one black guy. Fuck you, you little prick.
It's just everywhere. Diversity.
It's just everywhere diversity. You're such a fucking loser, bruv.
The authentic culture of the UK. It's total shit.
What? I don't even know what he
Go to
wants.
the Brunel Centre, so that would be nice.
What he wants the world to be.
So, the Brunel Centre.
They say what they don't like, but they never really celebrate the things they like about Britain. I don't really know what they consider to be good about Britain. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious. Like, what do these... Because they all hate London, and London is fucking amazing. Like, you go to the nice bits of London, which is most bits, to be honest. London is amazing. Like, it's an incredible place. Like, some of the architecture and just the vibes in London. In certain places, I find it's too busy. But that's any big city. But, yeah, like... But they hate London. And I never hear them saying, like, how cool Cambridge and Oxford is, which I love. They're not proud of their country. I never hear them talk about anything they like about the country. It's always what we don't like. We're not the type of people. We're not going to go down about a fucking fight, mate. And you're a tubby little... I don't know how tall you are. Let me work out how tall you are so we can... If we need a fight. We can sit. 5'4"? Let's fucking go!